We're back in this long segment of the second hour. I'm Aaron Dyke sitting in on the Alex Jones Show, and we do now have Alex Jones riding shotgun with us for the rest of the hour. And we also have Wayne Madsen still on the line with us. And Alex, what are you going to ask Wayne right now?
Well, I want to thank Wayne Madsen and WayneMadsenReport.com for staying into the second hour. I was going to get into the designed financial implosion and the fact that banks, it's confirmed now, but not just in the newspapers. I'm getting this from chatter online. People I know are now trying to restrict people getting their own money out of banks. This is a very, very dangerous sign. I'm going to be getting into that, the TSA. I'm going to be getting into a host of other important issues here today. But ladies and gentlemen, I want you to understand, Wayne Madsen has traveled the entire world. He has recently been in Libya. So has Webster Tarpley while it was being bombarded. Wayne is an impeccable source. He's who brought us the D.C. Madam, you name it. He has broken so many stories for major publications. When I'm watching congressional testimony on national security, you can almost always see Wayne Madsen, there in the second row reporting. And what he broke last hour, as I was sitting here in my hotel room getting ready to go out and shoot some interviews with Jesse Ventura later this afternoon, absolutely crystallized everything and makes total sense. But when Wayne says he has sources, you better believe he has them. And I've got Kurt Nimmo right now doing a blurb on this that, again, will point to WayneMadsenReport.com, that he's going to have the full scoop. Because this is big news. This is huge international news. What you just heard, it makes perfect sense. If you just joined us, Wayne Madsen, anti-submarine warfare expert, then worked for the NSA, RCA, you name it, helped set up some of the major pro-internet freedom organizations that are out there. The reason I'm building him up is you have to understand he is a really good source, and he wouldn't come on air and say he's getting ready to break it with proof and the sources that Gaddafi was under white flag when he was leaving his tribal hometown. Now, why does this make perfect sense? Hillary Clinton flies in. That's announced she's there. She's the head of the State Department. She's the type of leading envoy that someone would turn themselves over to. We know the head of the tribal council where Gaddafi was at a month ago was publicly trying to make deals, and he just wanted promises, Gaddafi did, regardless of what you think of him, that there wouldn't be a civil war. In fact, he was saying that previously, and so was his son, the Shield of Islam, translated. And the only way the Desert Fox, as he's known, he has the same nickname as Rommel, who was in Libya, obviously during World War II, the Desert Fox would not just drive out onto a highway with a big, long motorcade while he was inside a city under siege, knowing there were drones and all this. Of course. And that's what I thought when this happened a week ago. Why would he drive out in the convoy in front of the whole world? Obviously, he was surrendering. We know these negotiations have been going on, but treacherously, they didn't want it to come out that the West stole tens of millions of dollars he'd invested in U.S. banks, or that he'd made all these deals with the West and hugged Obama and hugged Tony Blair and Sarkozy and financed some of their campaigns. They wanted to double-cross this guy, and so they had to get rid of him. And what adds credibility to this, and we're going to Wayne here, because I want people to realize the magnitude of this. What adds credibility to this is not just his record, Wayne's record, but the fact that a week ago Wayne said, no, they did execute him. This is a lie that Crossfire killed Gaddafi. That's ridiculous. He was paraded around before all the videos came out and tortured and then shot, and then that was confirmed. Wayne has been to Libya repeatedly. Wayne has met with the leadership. Wayne has the sources, and everything he said has been confirmed. Now think about this. Gaddafi comes out in the motorcade, clearly believes he'd be a madman, like a sitting duck, driving out in a motorcade, into the middle of the rebels that have surrounded the town. Of course he had a white flag. Of course. I mean, that's a no-brainer. And now they've been caught lying and said, oh, he got killed in Crossfire. Even when there were videos and photos of him being drug around, they still said, oh, no, he everybody, make sure he never comes back. And they did that. Those rebels are going to follow those globalist orders. And for those that don't know, Wayne is absolutely right as a historian. This goes back to China and the Romans. It is close to 2,000 years old in the history books, probably 2,500 years old, the previous dynasty in China. The white flag means I am giving up, and it is an incredible, from my historical research, one of the biggest war crimes you can commit is when somebody runs up a white flag or says quarter going after him. It is against the law. It is unchivalrous. It is the most dastardly, because this is what happens. Needlessly, whole armies then get killed. If somebody tries to give up, but you learn that an enemy won't let you give up, you're going to fight to the end, and that will cause the other army to have greater casualties. This has all been figured out thousands of years ago. And it means that the other side will do even more desperate things, and it escalates into total barbarism. So I've got Kurt Nimmo listening right now. He's going to get a blurb out on this. Wayne, those are, because we'll have to hold you to the bottom of the hour. This is so important, but I had to preface all of this. Wayne, you've got the floor, but I want to go through these questions with you. Specifically, what can you tell us about the sources? How you're confirming the white flag was there? Obviously, it had to be. It makes perfect sense. A. B. The government's been caught lying and saying he wasn't shot when now it's confirmed they were lying. C. Am I right in saying clearly Hillary's there as the signal to him? Okay, have Hillary come. I will meet with her. I will turn myself in. I mean, clearly, all this makes perfect sense, but you say you have the sources. This is huge news. This is unbelievable. So break it down, Wayne.
Okay, on the morning of October 19th, that was last Thursday, right as the sun broke, there were reports that I was getting Twitter messages coming out of CERT, coming from vantage points where the rebels were, where neutral parties were, saying there are white flags being seen in the city of CERT. Now, we were told several things in the news reports. One, that there were plans made by Gaddafi to leave CERT before morning prayers. Morning prayers, the first call to prayer is around 5 o'clock a.m. That's usually before you have the sun up, so it's still pretty dark. You really can't see a white flag in darkness or before the sun is up. So you're going to wait till the sun is pretty high up in the sky before you try to leave under a flag of truce. So here the sun comes up and white flags are seen all over CERT, seen from various buildings. Now, this city's been obliterated, so you're seeing white flags from the vehicles. Now, they're cobbling together this motorcade. I'm not saying that every vehicle had a white flag, but, what do you use? You use a sheet, you use a pillowcase, use whatever you can as a white flag. If Gaddafi, if they wanted to try to sneak out, why would they have not done it at night? Why did they wait till the sun was up to try to leave CERT? Because you want to wait till the sun is up so you can clearly see the white flag of truce, the white flag of surrender. That's why they waited that long. That's why they didn't get out at night. But that made them sitting ducks, of course, for the predators, which, the predator locked on to them immediately. It was probably all on a live video feed back to Langley and General Petraeus, kindly old General Petraeus, who loves using drones to kill people. He's done it in Iraq, and he's done it in Afghanistan. So here we have this situation. Now, as far as Hillary's presence there, I don't know if she was involved with that. Certainly her chortling before the interview saying, we came, we saw, he died. If she was involved in any kind of negotiations and still said that, I mean, the woman is obviously mentally ill, or she's so evil that, the words can't describe it. But anyway, that's the situation. And also I'll add that the chief tribal elder of the Gaddafi tribe in CERT, who you had mentioned had been in negotiations last month on a surrender, he was obviously involved in this, and the rebels went into his home, unarmed old man and shot and killed him.
Well, Wayne, that was my next question to you, is that it's been confirmed that there were massacres in the town and the mass graves, and now people are calling for an investigation, but NATO runs it, so how do you investigate when the foxes run the hen house? But that would show a cover-up. The fact that they ran in and tried to execute the constabulary instead of trying them or whatever, as rebels would normally do taking over, showed there was an attempt to cover something up, and the way the White House jumped on it and said, no, we didn't execute him, nobody did, he died in crossfire. The way that they were so ready with those cover stories, that shows the spinning and scripting that this whole thing was a complete setup. Yeah, Gaddafi drives out in broad daylight. Of course, the city's encircled. There's Predator drones in the sky. It's rubble. He would know that would be suicide to drive out in broad daylight unless he had an agreement and was coming in, and we know that was being negotiated. Hillary lands. It's announced. Gaddafi then is going to come in. Boom, this happens. Stay there, Wayne. Let's do 5 more minutes because I want to go back into the history of this and what this signifies. I'm Alex Jones, Infowars.com. Aaron Dykes riding shotgun with us. WayneMadsenReport.com is Wayne's excellent website. Breaking news. Stay with us.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back on the Alex Jones Show. I'm Aaron Dykes sitting in as Alex calls and reports from the road, and we still have Wayne Madsen with us for one more segment. Alex.
Well, it's just insane to see how decadent our culture's gotten. There are children all over this casino, and they've got in the elevators ads for bars here where it shows young women basically grabbing on each other sexually. And again, this is advertised as a family casino where they put me up here where we're doing interviews and stuff around town. And it just shows how far we've fallen as a society. Torture, secret arrest, secret execution, killing of U.S. citizens. And as Ron Paul said to the moderators at a debate, he said, you're all in danger too. I mean, this is fundamental stuff that bad guys do. You know, Hitler, Stalin, Mao, secret police, secret arrest. But America's been sold that it's sexy, it's tough, it's cool. You know, people run up white flags, you kill them. It's so dangerous. And they say, well, Gaddafi's a bad guy, so he deserves it. And now they're putting al-Qaeda groups in charge, and they've got shoulder-fired launchers. I mean, for those that aren't into history like you and I are, Wayne Madsen, for those that don't know, I mean, the magnitude of a white flag. Obviously, he had a white flag coming out in broad daylight in the middle of all that. The magnitude of the treachery, the magnitude of killing people with white flags. I guess people don't understand that is the ultimate treachery, is it not, in warfare?
Went back to try to find, in recent history, whether there were any abuses, even, by the German Nazis, the Japanese Imperial Army, and I couldn't find any major examples of a white flag of truce or surrender being ignored. Certainly even in the Battle of the Bulge, there was a white flag. There was an attempt of a negotiation, and it was honored. But whatever was worked out in CERT was done so rapidly. I don't think there was a lot of planning because some reports when the white flags were first seen, some people outside of CERT who were still hoping that Gaddafi would be triumphant were actually tweeting the message that the rebels are surrendering. So that's how much confusion there was even on the Gaddafi side about the appearance of the white flag. So I would say that whatever was done at the last minute, probably in haste, but certainly was not. Now, one thing NATO could say, and they may try to spin this, when we start hearing more reports about the white flag, it wasn't coordinated, we didn't know about it, and then the rebels, we know they can't even decide on what to do with the body over there. It's rotting in this meat refrigeration unit, and it's long since the Islamic, religious burial stricture. It has to be buried before sundown the next day. So it was way beyond that. But I think this goes to show what kind of people, as you say, are involved with the rebels, people that don't even honor a white flag of truce, a white flag of surrender.
And we know the drones certainly didn't do that, and they could clearly see flags if they're there in broad daylight. And they can zoom in on a penny on the ground and read the date.
Absolutely.